backstory on this axe. Yesterday, I went to a crosscut saw certification course, a U.S. Forest Service certification course, given by Mr. Dennis Helton, and had a great time out there. You know, I did the chainsaw course a couple months ago that he put on. Fantastic. What a good guy. I mean, what a good guy. You ought to just Google Dennis Helton, okay? The guy's awesome. So while we were out there, you know, of course, he brings out these awesome axes that he's got, and I was just, you know, in love with them. And I mentioned to him about True Temper and how I was looking for a True Temper axe head, and told him about how my dad worked there for 28 years, and I know the quality of what they made in the 60s and the 70s and even into the mid 80s, man. They were still making good stuff. And he said, man, I got an old True Temper axe head that I'll give you. I said, what? And so, man, we talked about it some more, and I offered him some money and all that, and he was serious. He just wanted to give me the axe head. He said somebody gave it to him, and he said it's a great axe head. It's sharp. It's just got a little rust on it from laying around because the handle broke out of it in one of his, you know, classes. Some college students or something broke the axe handle out of it. So anyhow, he said he would give it to me, and I was just like, hey man, if you'll give me that axe head, I'll ride to your house today and get it. So he agreed, and I literally followed him up into North Carolina to where he lives, and man, he pulled this thing out and just gave it to me. What a good guy, man. Now, what we got to do now is I'm gonna go get the ingredients for the oyster stew, and I'm gonna go get an axe handle for this thing. All right, so I'm not just gonna go buy an axe handle. I'm gonna take this handle out before I leave, and I'm gonna take the head with me, and then I can stick axe handles in it until I find one that I think has got halfway decent shape and the right grain in it, and then we can bring that back with the ingredients for the oyster stew. All right, so that's what's next. Let's knock the handle out of this thing and take it with us. All right, we've got it pretty well out. There it is. Boy, I'm gonna tell you, that thing was in there. Even after drilling a bunch of holes, it was in there. Whoever put that axe handle in, they knew what they were doing. That thing was in there. Even after pulling the wedge out, this was the big aluminum wedge that was in there, steel wedge. I took it out, and man, it just was stuck. You have to be careful about putting this thing in the vise, because that name right there is, to me, is, I don't want to damage that, okay? True Temper wrote in it, and I'm going to do everything I can to preserve that. That's what it's all about. All right, so let's go get us an axe handle. Well, we've been all over town today. Had to go to 3 different places to try to find an axe handle for a double bit axe that was acceptable. And believe it or not, I didn't really look at it until I got home. The handle's got True Temper wrote on it. How appropriate. So what's next? We're going to take the head itself, we're going to get it cleaned up before I put the handle on it. And the handle also, you know, it's got this little bit of, I don't know if it's varnish or clear or something that they put on it. All that's going to get sanded off, and we're going to start test fitting it and get this handle put on. All right, so let's get to work. All right, so we got the head clean, and now we're going to work on this True Temper stamp that's here. You can see that showing up pretty good. On the back, you can see the old fire service stamp. So this was a fire service axe at one time, and I like that. That's pretty cool. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this little tiny rat tail file, and I'm going to work on bringing this back out as much as I can, because I like the True Temper emblem, and I want to make sure that stays there. Alright guys, we've got the handle all sanded, and now we're going to start fitting the head on there. So the head, you know, it just slides down on there. But we may have to come in here and start shaping this, but I'll tell you, this thing's looking pretty good. Put my gloves on, I don't want to cut myself. This axe is sharp, okay? Even though it's a little dirty and dingy, it was. Alright, so I'm going to get the little sander thing, and I'm going to just take a little off of it and just kind of fade it in, and we'll test fit it again. So now this is something that I do. I'm just going to get the dust off of this thing. And I'm going to put wood glue around the outside of it and down in the crack. Couple more good licks on the ground. Made a good solid sound. It's in there. So now, let's get this wedge loaded up with wood glue. And we'll work it down in there. So now I'm going to take the metal wedges and I'm going to put them in at an angle, 2 of them, just like this and this. Okay? And then I'll get them with a punch and punch them on down in there a long ways. Alright, so there it is. She's in there. That thing's not coming off no time soon. And I know the top of it's ugly, but I'm not doing it for it to be pretty. I'm doing it for it to hold. Now I can always touch this up with a sander and make it look real good, but that's okay. I'm going to leave that little bit of wood out there, and that's going to help hold it on there, I think. You know, it helps mushroom it over, and I'm going to treat all this. Well, we've got everything cleaned up and got the workbench and all that sawdust stuff pretty much dealt with. Got it just kind of lightly in the vise here, and now it's time to take care of this handle. And what you do is you want to put boiled linseed oil, okay? Get it at any old hardware store. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour some into my glove here and then use that to wipe it onto the handle. So we'll see you tomorrow with this. And hey, by the way, in case you know, we didn't mention it much in this video, but the oyster stew was just awesome, man. Awesome. You know, when I started cooking that thing, it happened, you know, it's one of those stews that cooks quick. And so when I got going with it, I just had to like just stay with that. And it only took about 30 minutes, 40 minutes to cook the whole thing. But watch that video, okay? The oyster stew was just incredible. Alright guys, so while this handle here is drying, I'm going to just do a little I hate to say sharpening. This thing is already so friggin' sharp it would cut you like a knife. But I'm just going to, you know, I had tape over this like you remember in the video. I had some tape over it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my sharpening stone and I'm going to use some of this linseed oil. Believe it or not, that's a great little honing oil. I'm just going to put it on my stone here. And I'm just going to get on here, man. I'm going to work down below the edge because there's some rust there. All right, guys. So I just want to take a few minutes and give back for a second to some of the folks who commented on my videos. I really appreciate you. Lawrence Bishop, we're going to get you at the end, okay? All right, Cody Cooper, one of my co-workers, thank you, man. You commented on one of my trail maintenance videos. I appreciate you, man. Comment again. Anytime you see something or you got a question or you want to say something, you just go right ahead. George White, he commented on one of my Smithy videos. He likes those. Asked me some questions about it. There's more of those coming, George. So just be patient. They're coming. All right, and then I got another fella here, JSJC458. He commented on my tomato slicer video using the Smithy and told me that I could use WD-40 as a good tapping lubricant or, for aluminum. So thanks, man. I appreciate that. And Matthew Thornton, he's commented on a couple of my videos. You talked about me cooking out here the other day with the oyster stew. Man, thanks for commenting on that. And dude, it did. The entire garage, it just smelled like oyster stew out here for like the entire day. And he also commented on a trail maintenance video about us getting out there and working, how much he appreciated it. And hey, anything, man, we love working on the trail. That's kind of our community support thing that we do. We like to get out and have something that we volunteer and give back to our community, to our state, to our home. And the Foothills Trail is where we do it at. All right, and Mr. Lawrence Bishop, let's get back to you. So you've commented a couple of times, and especially today you commented about the blonde in the video, I guess on the thumbnails, saying that the blonde got you and you subscribed. So this closing to this video is just for you.
All right, so here is the finished product of Andrew's restoration of the True Temper double bit axe. Made the metal nice and beautiful and shiny, super duper sharp. I've been really contemplating using it to shave my legs, but it's a little much. But great new axe handle with the wood grain going in the right direction. There were lots of options out there that were not of good quality, so he did a good job of scoping one of these out. It was given to him by Dennis Helton, and so thank you for your donation, Mr. Helton. This is what Andrew does, and it makes him happy. And so yeah, turned out great. There, get him in the camera too. See that? That's how much I love him.
Oh, I got it good. Thank you, baby.
You're welcome. So thanks for watching.